Budget electronic music gear is quickly getting more expensive. Let's take a look at some prices. Freebeat. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shout-out goes to Richard Fadenhauer. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So here at the channel, I tend to focus on budget electronic music gear. And over the past year or so, there's been a few pieces of gear that I've been keeping my eyes on price-wise because I noticed they started to go up. And today I actually want to go over those pieces of gear. Now these are devices that I either own or plan on picking up for the channel in the future, hopefully near future. But I think that there's enough change going on price-wise that it's time to address this with all of you and just, show off some of these price hikes that have occurred in case you want to pick up these pieces of gear, and we'll discuss if it's a good time to buy or not. In terms of reason for the price hike, we can blame the chip shortage, but I don't really want to get into much of the reasoning. I'm not an expert in that field, and I just feel that wouldn't be very good discussion. Also, really quick, typically here on the channel, I consider budget gear to be anything under the $300 to $400 US mark, but today we're actually going to extend that all the way up to the $1,000 mark because there are actually quite a few price movements going on in that higher portion of the spectrum. So let's get into it. So first up is the OP1, and the only reason I'm showing it is to tell you that I don't really count it in this kind of price hike trend. And that's because the OP1, while it is back to its $1,300 price tag right now, I know it's crazy high. Last year it was $1,100. That was not a price change. That was just a sale that Teenage Engineering had to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the OP1. So yeah. $1,300. I don't really count it as a price hike. It's the OP1. What more can you say? Next up is the Akai MPC1. This is a really interesting one to me. This is the highest price hike of any of these price increases on today's list. When I bought I was looking at my Amazon receipts, and I bought my MPC1 almost a year ago exactly. I bought it brand new from Amazon, and I paid $699 US. That was the retail price. Today, the retail price of the Akai MPC1 is $899 US. That's a $200 price increase. Now, of course, there was a huge update last summer in the 2.10 firmware update where we got a whole bunch of new synthesizers, crazy features, a vocal effects suite, and, just a whole plethora of stuff for the MPC1. And at that point, the price raised from the $699 to the $799 US. I thought that's where it was going to sit. I was sort of okay with that. It's really probably about an $800 device in terms of build quality and where it stands, with all of its features and stuff like that. It is a fantastic piece of gear. In fact, it won my Gear of the Year award last year, but I was still really surprised when I saw the price increase again from $799 US to its current price of $899 US. That's putting it into competition directly with like the Deluge, the Roland MC101, and to be frank, some of the other MPC products and even the Akai Force that you can pick up for just a few $100s more. So this one, I'd say, it's still probably worth it at the $899 US price point if you are interested in one. But I would probably pick it up sooner than later because I don't know if the price is going to increase further. And if it does, then we really do have to start looking at, is it worth it? Next up is the Synthrom Deluge, my latest acquisition here at the channel. Of course, I was sent mine by a random internet stranger. Thank you so much. Again, you know who you are that sent me this. You're amazing. Last year, the Deluge increased from $899 US to $999 US. totally justified, the amount of updates they've added to it. And I think there were even some like physical changes in terms of labeling and things like that. Yeah, totally justified. It sat, I believe, at that $899 US price point for 5 years almost, before the increase, 4 or 5 years. So yeah, totally justified. This feels and looks and functions like a $1,000 machine. Totally worth it. And if you're into one, don't let that somewhat recent price hike sway you. Next up are a pair of instruments, one of which I'm very interested in picking up. It's the Dig Attack and the Digitone from Electron. I, of course, do not own these yet, but I would very, very much like a Digitone eventually. Now, the price of these is really interesting. I believe just a year ago, the price was around $649, maybe $699 US, and now they are sitting all the way up at $859 US. In the US right now, we do have a sale going on at most retailers where they are $799 US. But still, we're going to look at that $859 price point. It's honestly seemingly pretty steep for what these devices do. You know, they are both legendary boxes in their own rights, but we just talked about the MPC1 being $899 US, and if you're just looking for overall functionality and features, the MPC1 is going to crush both of these. If you're just looking at like the Digitone as an FM synth, I feel like the Korg Op6 is going to crush it. Sampler-wise, the Dig Attack is unique, I believe, if I understand everything about it correctly, but, you know, the MPC1 does have one hell of a great sampler in it. The Deluge is just a few $100s more, not even $200 if we're looking at that $860 price point. So yeah, this is a pretty extreme jump. I hope that they're done moving up right now in price, but hard to say. Okay, so those are the high-end pieces of gear, but the super low-end budget market has not been immune to the price hikes either. Of course, here we've got the Teenage Engineering pocket operators, and it looks like we've seen about a $10 increase across the board in all the pocket operators. So that means that the more premium pocket operators, like the PO32, 35, 33, and their respective deviants, like the Rick and Morty and the Street Fighter, are all $99 US, whereas the cheaper price tier of pocket operators were sitting at $59. Now they are $69 US. Nice. I think for the majority, they are all still worth it. The premium ones are all fantastic devices, and I think $99 is a fair price point. When we look at some of the less expensive ones, you know, the arcade is definitely worth the $69 US, but I'm not sure if I'd pay that for like the factory or the sub anymore. I think you can still find those at $49 at a couple retailers because I'm just now remembering they were a little bit cheaper than like the arcade and the robot. But yeah, definitely take a look at the less expensive ones if you're interested and kind of, you know, try to come to your own conclusion there. Next up, it's the Korg Volkas. We seem to have had about a $20 price increase for all of the Volkas now. That takes them from $149 US to $169 US each. And for the most part, I think that's okay. Obviously, $149 is way more attractive than $169. But when you start to look at the features that are included in a lot of these, I think it's worth it. Particularly in the ones that are, you know, by general consensus considered to be the highest value. Those being the keys, the drum, and the FM, which I do not have yet. I think you're still okay paying $170 basically for those three. The other ones are just going to be personal preference, though. Here's one that's had a bit of a roller coaster. It's the Arturia Microfreak. So when this first came out, it was $349 US, and then in 2020, the price dropped to $299 US, which I was lucky enough to pick mine up at that price. And now since then, the price has actually gone back up to $349 US. So basically what it debuted at, given all the updates that Arturia has added to this thing, I think it's totally worth the $349 US. This is a bit of a divisive synthesizer. Seems a lot of people either love it or hate it. If you're on the fence about it, there's a ton of amazing content from a bunch of creators here on YouTube. I think it's worth the $349 US, but ultimately that's going to be up to you to decide if you like the sounds or not. I will say this, if you were sold on it at $299 US, don't let the $50 price increase back to its original price deter you. Just go ahead and pick one up when you can. Here's kind of an interesting one. The Behringer synthesizers on the lower end have not really been immune to the price hikes either. The Model D here, for instance, went from $299 up to $329, so a $30 price increase. Same with the Behringer Neutron, and even the Behringer Crave went from $199 to $219, so a $20 price increase there. So, you know, I'm not really going to comment on Behringer as a whole, but just by themselves, these are great synthesizers, you know, really good deals for the money. I still think they're worth it, but definitely something to keep an eye on as time goes by. Next up is another device that I do not yet have. It's the Roland MC101. Roland's kind of budget groovebox has gone from $499 to $549, $50 price increase. I don't know why, but I have a hard time swallowing it. I was actually interested in picking up the MC101 for the channel. Not really something I was interested in, but a lot of you have been interested in my thoughts and opinions on it. $50 really pushes it, you know, from that can be kind of considered budget to definitely mid-range. That puts it up there with like the Black Box and the OPZ, couple $100 more, and we're looking into, you know, used MPCs and things like that. So I don't like this one really at all. I don't think they've added too much to it either. I could be wrong, but I really don't like this $50 price increase, and it has really deterred me from, you know, seriously considering picking one up. All right, and last on the list, it's the Zoom LiveTrack L12, my trusty audio recorder. I love this thing with my whole heart. Last spring, I picked mine up for $599, and the price has increased by $50. It's now $649. They haven't really added anything to it. It's just a price increase, which is kind of interesting because the 20-track version, the L20, has not increased in price. So, yeah, that's just kind of interesting. I wasn't going to include this one, but it's such an important device to the channel and to me personally that I just kind of wanted to throw it in here at the end. So, yeah, $50 more. Still worth it for what it does, but there are certainly cheaper options that have, you know, that cut different corners. So depending on what you're looking for, you can probably find something tailored to your workflow. If the LiveTrack L12 is not it perfectly, it's probably not worth the $650. You can probably find something, like I said, tailored to your personal workflow a little better, and hopefully at a little better of a price. So there you have it. Those are the devices I've kind of had my eye on price-wise for the past year or so. I'm finding it super interesting actually to see what jumps and what doesn't. Notably right now, the Electron budget boxes, the model cycles and model samples, have maintained their $299 price point, which is fantastic. And we're still seeing sales on those from time to time down to like $249. Speaking of sales, both of the new circuits from Novation, the tracks and the rhythm, seem to be on sale in the US at $349. Great price right now for those if you're interested. But yeah, price hike wise, these are the ones I've been watching. Again, it's hard to tell where things are going to go right now, you know, between the chip shortage and COVID, and I'm sure there's a million excuses and reasons. Again, I'm not an expert, not going to get into those. If I missed any pieces of gear that have gone up in price, please let me know in a comment down below. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.